Happy September, everybody, and welcome back to the Lakelands Football Show. As always, it's Ethan Joyce, Andrew Mackey here to talk to you about this week's slate of games. First off, I'd like to take the time to remind you that this episode of the Lakelands Football Show is brought to you by no one, because we don't have a sponsor yet.
Could be you.
Anyways,
let's get down to football.
On to the game of the week. Last week, it was Christchurch at Abbeville. Turns out it wasn't much of a game at all. And this week, we have Dorman at Greenwood. Andrew's going to be there this week.
You know, two of the big powerhouse teams throughout the state of South Carolina, when you ask about high school football, Dorman and Greenwood are not far from the conversation. It's going to be, once again, it's going to be a game between two powerhouses. Greenwood fresh off a victory against Dutch Fork a couple weeks ago. Dorman's got wins over Wade Hampton and Gaffney, another powerhouse in the state. It should be a pretty good game. Dorman's got a great quarterback in Colin Hill, who's committed to Colorado State, Division I football.
Whoa.
So it's going to be really interesting to see if Greenwood can get some pressure on him, move his feet around a little bit, try to disrupt him. It's going to be a tough matchup, but I don't think the Eagles are going to lose at home. So I'm taking the hometown team.
Man.
Not the only game in Greenwood tomorrow night either. The Emerald Vikings welcome a familiar face in Daniel, who Daniel always seems to have Emerald's number. Do you think that's going to change this year?
It's hard to say, but these guys are former region opponents. The last three games have been all Emerald losses. 28-24 last year, 35-28 the year before that, and 37-34. So these are always really good games, and probably a game worth watching for you football fans out there. Daniel lost last week to Easley, and Easley went 4-7 last year. It's not a good way to start the season. Neither team is, I guess, where it was last year, but I'm going to say Emerald's going to pull this one out and break this 3-game losing streak that they have going on right now.
I'd have to disagree with you on that one.
Whoa. Anyways, next game on the slate is Chesney at Abbeville. Seems like it could be the perfect letdown game for Abbeville. What do you think is going to happen, Andrew?
Well, for those of you expecting a letdown or looking for a letdown, stop. These Abbeville boys all year have been talking about one game at a time, staying humble, staying focused. Even after last week's historic beatdown of Christchurch, Demarius Lee, DLE 63, Doobie Dubose, we're all talking about staying humble. Next game, they were not caught up in the hype. I think these kids realize this could be a special year, and they're focused. Not to mention Chesney's beat them 2 years running. They're a Class 2A Division II opponent, just like the Panthers. Mm-hmm. This is a good test for them. Might have to see them again later in the playoffs. Abbeville's going to be ready, and it's going to be win number 3 at Heights Stadium. Another big matchup for a Region 2A opponent in 96, welcoming Greenwood County's own Ware Shoals.
And both of these teams are fighting some injuries right now. Hunter Wood was knocked out of Ware Shoals' Week 0 game. Jonah Butler's still trying to come back for 96. He got some live play this week, so we'll see if he plays at all, how he's looking. But Coach Mike Doolittle at 96 was not happy after their Emerald loss last Friday. And an angry Mike Doolittle is somebody that's going to get the practice going the rest of that week. So
get on his bad side.
There is no doubt in my mind that 96 will handle Ware Shoals easily this week.
Coach Mike Craig at Ware Shoals, they have to just survive these couple early games until they get to some more of opponents that fit their style and their size. So, some other tough matchups for some of our smaller schools in the Lakelands. Cowan Falls is at Crescent. That it's going to be some tall grass for the Flashes to play in.
Yeah.
Palmetto's at Dixie. That's a Class 3A opponent, and I think the Mustangs are hot, so that spells more trouble for Dixie. And then a good Class 2A battle. Salute is at Mid Carolina. That be a good test to see where the Tigers are at this year.
Definitely.
And last game of the week, we have St. John's Christian at Greenwood Christian.
St. John's Christian, where is that?
I believe it's at Monk's Corner, as cameraman Billy likes to say. He's got a couple favorite fishing holes down there, so he tells me it's Monk's Corner, like the religious person.
Oh.
So who do you got in the Bayman football? Can Gary Gillen get his boys back on track?
Well, I'm going to say Greenwood Christian's going to win this one. just to break the streak of us picking against them. So they lost last week. Let's see if we can help them turn it around.
And once again, thank you for joining us on the Lakelands Football Show. For more information, check out our website, indexjournal.com. Follow us on Twitter. He's at IJ Ethan Joyce. I'm at IJ Andrew Mackey. Don't forget sports editor Greg Hampton at IJ Greg Hampton.
And, while other Friday night games are going on and we're not there for them, feel free to tweet scores at us. Keep us updated. We use the hashtag Lakelands Football. We'd love it if you guys used it too. So thank you so much. See you next week.
Perfect.